Now, ABC 10 News special coverage of the governor recall vote.
More than a year after the first signatures were gathered, the recall effort against Governor Gavin Newsom comes to a head. There are less than 2 hours until polls close during this special election. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our team of reporters has every angle of the election covered, including the last pushes from Governor Newsom and his challengers, as well as a look at the voter turnout today. Let's begin with our ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena, who is live from the Registrar of Voters office in Kearney Mesa as people filter in to cast their ballots here in these late hours. Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. We have just about a little under 2 hours to go before the polls close tonight at 8 p.m. and things are still pretty busy here at the Registrar of Voters. There is a drive-through setup that people can just drop off their ballots, and people also, of course, walking up to cast their ballots behind me here. Now, a big factor in this election is, of course, going to be voter turnout. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the demographics, both statewide and here locally in San Diego County. Now, demographics for California. There are about 22 million registered voters. 10 million, or 46%, are Democrats. 5 million, or 24%, are Republicans. And the remaining 6.5 million, or 30%, are independents or registered to other parties. Meanwhile, here in San Diego, there are 1.9 million registered voters countywide. About 42% are Democrats and 28% are Republicans. Now, joining me now, since we are at the Registrar of Voters, is the San Diego County Registrar of Voters, Cynthia Pays. Thank you so much for being with us.
No problem.
I'm going to go ahead and bring you just a little bit closer.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, I know we still got to keep our distance, but let's just talk first off how things are going so far. We're almost to the end of the day.
Everything's going really smoothly today. We're seeing much more participation than we have over the weekend. So voters are turning out. We're asking them if they still have that mail ballot in hand to go ahead and get their ballot voted, seal it in their envelope, and drop it off at one of 131 mail ballot drop-off locations across the county, or over 200 of our voting locations.
So, you know, in the last election, or presidential election, of course, huge voter turnout, there were a few, people concerned about the integrity of the election, both, on a national level and even here in San Diego County. How are you ensuring that voters are confident that their votes are being counted accurately?
Absolutely. So we take the integrity of any election very seriously, and the security of every eligible vote. Some of the things we do, we track every mail ballot envelope. Of course, you know that people will move and they won't tell us. So we depend on that returned mail to now update our voter registration system. If you decide not to vote your mail-in ballot and you turn up at a polling location, then once you check in at that polling location, it automatically suspends your mail ballot, so it cannot be counted. So we have all of these procedures in place, safeguards in place. Signature verification is another thing we do with mail balloting, as well as chain of custody on any voted ballots with two-person chain of custody.
And of course, later tonight, I want to let our viewers know that you guys have agreed to let us go in and see exactly how that counting process is going. So that'll be coming up at 11. And just to remind voters, how soon could we see some of these results tonight?
So the results that come out shortly after 8 p.m. tonight, that's going to be all the mail ballots that we've received thus far and have been able to process into the count, as well as the 3 days of early voting at our voting locations across the county. Our next set of results will not come out probably until closer to 9:30 or 10. So as the polls close, poll workers are packing up and returning their supplies and voted ballots to our collection centers. Those will need to be returned to our office. So periodically throughout the night, we will have updates after 10 p.m. and it may take until midnight or 1 in the morning before all the polls are reported in and our final unofficial election results are posted.
All right. Cynthia, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate the insight, as do our viewers.
Thank
now,
you.
My colleague Rachel Bianco has been tracking more with voter turnout today. I'm going to go ahead and send it over to her. Rachel.
Hi, Lindsay. We're at the North Claremont Rec Center. This is just one of 221 polling locations still open for another 2 hours. But as you just heard, most people have already voted, and most of them did so by mail. More than 870,000 mail ballots were returned as of this morning. Still, we ran into plenty of people today who prefer the tradition of in-person voting, and some say they trust it more. We spoke with business owners who want the governor out because of the way he handled the pandemic, while other voters said Newsom did not have much choice.
I'm a sole proprietor. I had to close my business. You know, I had to figure out how I was putting food on my table, but I could go to Walmart, Target, Costco and be with crowds of people.
No, I think he did the best he could with the tools he had. I think he was trying to keep us all safe. Was it excessive at times? Probably.
Volunteers here say things went smoothly for the most part. A few people who refused to wear masks inside, so they were allowed to vote outside in an area that is designated for the disabled. Again, the polls are open for another 2 hours. Reporting live in Claremont, Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
All right. Thank you, Rachel, for that update. And of course, we will be here throughout the rest of the night at the San Diego County Registrar of Voters, monitoring how things are going. For now, I'm going to send it back to Steve and Kim in the studio.
Going to be an interesting night. Lindsay, thank you for the update. Here's a look at how we got to this point. The recall petition was introduced actually in February of 2020, before the pandemic took hold of California. Now, it criticized Governor Gavin Newsom for his handling of immigration, homelessness, and taxes. Supporters of the effort say the recall movement gained steam in November after Newsom was spotted at that French Laundry restaurant dining indoors while shutdowns were still in effect. In March of 2021, 2.1 million signatures were submitted in support of the recall. Newsom responded at the time, calling the effort a Republican recall. In April, the Secretary of State validated 1.7 million signatures, surpassing the 1.5 needed to trigger the recall. The election was certified in July, setting up the election for today.
One of the Republicans looking to unseat Governor Newsom is former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer. ABC 10 News reporter Ryan Hill is following his campaign. He's joining us now live in Point Loma. Ryan?
That's right. Some of the things like reducing homelessness, reducing the tax burden on folks here in California, and also bringing that experience of holding an elected office is something that former Mayor Faulconer has been saying on the campaign trail. He's also been saying that California is too expensive and that people have been moving with their feet. That's the phrase he's been using in some of his speeches.
Rival Kevin
Former Mayor Faulconer has also been saying that it is too expensive for people to live or even possibly retire here. Also saying on previous campaign spots that he plans to reduce the tax burden for people to stay here in the Golden State. And the former mayor is also adding that he has the ability to work with others to govern effectively if he is chosen as the replacement candidate in this recall election. Currently, Governor Newsom has come under criticism from some for mask and vaccination policies and mandates. While Faulconer has gotten his vaccination, he feels that it's something that you can't force.
You can't mandate your way out of COVID-19. So I'm such a strong advocate for education, education, education. That's what we're going to do to get the vast majority of people to continue to get vaccinated.
Former Mayor Faulconer has been touting his resume and track record while serving as mayor of San Diego for 2 terms, saying that he feels confident and that his experience will show that he's ready to step in and do the job from day one if chosen as the replacement candidate. We are being told by the Faulconer campaign that the former mayor is scheduled to talk sometime after 8 after those polls close. Reporting live here in Point Loma, Ryan Hill, ABC 10 News.
Ryan, thank you. And many polls have shown that Governor Newsom's biggest challenger is conservative radio host Larry Elder. Our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is in the live center with the last-minute messages from Elder and the governor. Derek.
Yeah, with just 2 hours to go, both Newsom and Elder are trying to prod any last-minute supporters to the polls by raising the stakes. In Elder's telling, the future of California is at stake. In Newsom's view, this is a life-or-death decision in this election. Now, earlier today, Governor Newsom was out in San Francisco at a last-minute campaign stop with union workers. He railed on Elder's promise to end vaccine mandates and mask requirements, saying that'll put people at risk. And the governor also drew attention to recent comments by the conservative talk show host about the possibility of election fraud. Of course, there's been no reported evidence of fraud so far. The biggest issue I've seen on social media has to do with some sporadic reports of long lines and waits. But former President Donald Trump yesterday released a statement calling this election a scam. And Elder has hinted he might challenge the results or refuse to accept them.
We're going to file lawsuits in a timely fashion. What I believe is that no matter what they do, and I believe that there might very well be shenanigans, as they were in the 2020 election.
Grow up. Accept the results. There's absolutely none. It's embarrassing to even respond to that because it's fantasy. They're making stuff up, and it's hurting our country.
Newsom calls it Act 2 of the big lie, but online, Larry Elder is asking supporters to report any instances of irregularities, interference, or intimidation while voting. We heard from the Registrar of Voters here in San Diego earlier in the broadcast, but it's important to note that they're expecting about 200,000 ballots to potentially arrive after election night because of universal mail-in balloting, mail-in voting. So don't be surprised if the numbers change a little bit. In the Live Center, I'm Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
We will be watching those numbers. Thank you, Derek.